All right, but to start our class today, the main thing we want to focus on is obviously how to move from our current CRM over to the command platform, and really more importantly, what on the command platform might be similar to what you currently have. All right, whether you're working out of another CRM, the prior KW CRM, all right, whatever it might be. So the first thing on here is just kind of going back to the basics. In order to actually sign in to the command platform, you'll want to go to agent.kw.com. All right, and let's remove that, make it a little bit easier to see on here. So agent.kw.com is where you'll be able to access everything on the command platform. Now, the ideal web browser to utilize on here is going to be Google Chrome. All right, so if you have the option of utilizing Google Chrome on your computer, I believe everyone should be able to download it. That's the main one to use. And one thing to note, if you're on a PC like I am, at the top right when utilizing Chrome, you can click the little 3 dots, and you can actually open up a new incognito window. I don't know why that didn't come out correctly. You can actually open up a new incognito window. Now, when opening up this new incognito window, that is basically going to clear out all of your cookies and all of your cache. Right? It's going to basically have a brand new web browser completely clean for you to utilize. Right? It's not going to track anything on there, which is the good part too. All right, so the ideal web browser to utilize for Chrome or for a command is Chrome with an incognito window. All right, and if you're on a Mac, it'll be similar on here. Instead of Control-Shift-In, I want to say it's Command-Shift-In. It might be a little bit different on there, but you'll also have the option of an incognito window too. All right, so I'm going to sign in real quick just with my account on here. I'm actually going to sign in with I'll sign in with my own. Why not? Here we go. Let me make sure I have the right login. There we go. Much like you guys, I change my passwords all the time as well too. So it's always nice to figure out which one is the proper password to utilize. All right, so the class today is really meant to go over what's available on command, what exactly is accessible for you guys to use, and then more importantly, what can we actually do to help you to make that transition over? What's some of the free support items that we provide? All right, so this class is going to be a little bit different than the class that we're going to do tomorrow that'll dive even deeper into each applet. All right, today is just really a basic overview on here. All right, so inside command, this is going to be basically your end-to-end platform that you can utilize to really function your business. All right, so you can go through, you can add inside contacts, you can start to utilize the smart plans if you're thinking of doing any type of email or text option. All right, you actually have designs on here for all of your different marketing pieces. You'll have your own website, your own app that you can use. All right, pretty much anything and everything is accessible for you to utilize on command. All right. Hopefully there's not an echo on there. So let me know if anything's going on. I can try changing this over here too. All right, so when looking at command on here though, I clicked on the little KW logo and that's automatically going to pop up with all of our different applets that are available for us to utilize. All right, so just talking about this, obviously we have the home option. This is where you can go through and see all of your different items that you may have to do for that particular day. All right, so in this case, we can actually go through and we can see all of our tasks that need to be completed. We can see any new videos that may have recently come out from KWRI. All right, you can actually go through and see any new leads that are accessible for you too. All right, so this is going to be basically your dashboard option for you to utilize. Now moving along, you also happen to have your contact section. So much like any CRM that you're currently utilizing, this is where you can actually add inside all of your contacts. You can start to manage your database on here. You can actually go through and add inside different neighborhood options for your contacts to create that one-to-one relationship. All right, so there's a bunch of different items that you can actually utilize in the back end that'll really help to take your business to the next level and really create that one-to-one relationship. So that's the one good, or not the one good, but one of the many good items about command is that on here, it's going to help you to make it even more kind of, I always like to say like locally focused whenever you're thinking about actually showing off your website. Here's everything that's around the area. And it kind of feels that same way with the contacts on here because it's going to make it basically individually focused. All right. So instead of just saying, hey, here's how the market is doing in the state, well, now it's going to be, hey, here's how the market's actually doing in your particular neighborhood. All right. So you can make it that individually focused on here. Now, outside of contacts, you will have a task section as well, too. All right, so the task option is one of my favorite options because I actually love to see what I need to do each day. All right, so if you're like me and you love to write down, hey, this is what I need to actually complete. This is what's on my to-do list. This is going to be basically your favorite thing on here. All right, this will also sync with Kelly at the end of the day too. All right, so in this case, if you're utilizing your Kelly AI app that's accessible over on your phone, all right, whether you have an iPhone or an Android, all right, you'll be able to actually go through here and access pretty much all your different tasks that are accessible for you to do. All right, whether it's a new task that you're actually creating, a task from your smart plans, a task from your opportunities, all right, wherever it might be from. All right, now below that, you also happen to have your smart plans. Speaking of that. Now, smart plan at the end of the day, a lot of people will always ask, where are the email campaigns? All right, well, there aren't definite email campaigns on command, all right, but in the smart plans, this is kind of similar to it, all right, because on here, it's not just going to be email anymore, all right, it's also going to include items to do. It's going to include phone calls. It obviously will include emails, but it'll include text messages too. All right, so at the end of the day, this is really going to diversify how you actually reach out to some of your contacts. All right, so it's kind of that whole cast a wide net approach in this case to reach out to them, because not everyone is going to be looking at their email all day long. All right, so in this case, sending them a text message, giving them a phone call, potentially adding in a task of something to send to them, whatever it might be, will be an even greater way to get in touch with your sphere of influence even quicker. All right, sorry. Okay, something just came up on here. All right, it looks like I got fixed on it. Sorry, I was just looking at the chat section for you guys. All right, so you do have your smart plan accessible on here too, so that's perfect for you to utilize. All right, so if you're using anything from your current CRM for maybe an email campaign to send out to your database, or maybe actually text message marketing, this will help out too. All right, and then beyond that, you also happen to have your referral section. Now, this is something that's going to be a little bit different than most CRMs. In fact, I've never actually seen this on another CRM, kind of the way that it's set up like this. All right, this is actually going to be a referral option for you to send referrals to any other KW agent. All right, so it's kind of an intra-company referral platform instead of just having, a referral that you can send out to anyone. So the good part is then you're keeping it inside the KW family and knowing that it's getting taken care of. All right, so in this case, you actually have your referral platform where you can add other KW agents to your connections. All right, so at the end of the day, you can add them to your referral network on here. And once you add inside that new person, then you can send and receive referrals with them. All right, so I always kind of tell agents, at the end of the day, I'm located in Florida. So let's say I'm licensed in the state of Florida, but I'm originally from Texas. So I have a lot of family and friends still in Texas. All right, so thinking, oh, they're in Texas, I'm not able to actually conduct business with them, I'm not licensed there. All right, although that is technically true, I can still reach out to my family and friends and say, hey, if you're looking to buy or sell, reach out to me and I can get you in touch with a fantastic Keller Williams agent that can help you out even further. All right, so that way at the end of the day, I can actually receive that referral fee. All right, so I always tell people, 25% is always greater than 0%. Now, beyond the referral platform, then you also happen to have the opportunities on here. Let's click on it again, see if that works. There we go. All right, the opportunity section on here is going to be basically your lead to close platform. All right, so I'm sure a lot of you guys probably have heard of contract to close. All right, so this is going to include that, but it's going to start at the very beginning of the process. So the cool part about the opportunities on here is you're going to see where your contacts, where your leads are at any given point. All right, so on here, you might receive a new lead from an open house. All right, so then all of a sudden you add them over to the buyer opportunity on here as a new lead, and you can track them through their entire lifetime or lifespan when they're under, obviously this opportunity for you to utilize. All right, so we can see, all right, well, now they're currently a lead. All right, but then all of a sudden now they're going into the appointment phase. We're actually meeting with them. We now actually have them as an active buyer. We're showing homes to them. All right, now they are under contract with the property they want to move into and they want to purchase. Now they've officially purchased it. It's now closed. All right, and if you notice, you have listing opportunities, you have buyer opportunities, you have lease opportunities. All right, so that way you can actually keep track of your database at any given point in time. All right, so now instead of just saying, oh, it's currently under contract, so now I need to do the contract to close portion of everything. Well, obviously that's still going to be a necessity, but now you can actually see all those additional steps prior to that, so you can have a 100% transparent transaction with your contact. All right, so this is the best part about it is you can actually see that. And more importantly, you can actually see your potential versus probable GCI over here too. All right. Now, outside of the opportunity sections, then you do also happen to have campaigns. So there are email campaign options on here, but the email campaign section is really going to be kind of one-off emails. It's not the type of campaign you might be used to where it's like a 12 direct, 33 touch, just kind of like a set and forget it type of campaign. All right, on here we're going to have different campaign options. And the way I always specify it is you kind of have the free and the paid options. All right, because when looking at this, you'll notice you have a bunch of different items up here. And I'll click on this create a new campaign option. You're going to have social ads, search ads, social post, direct mail, and then emails. All right, so the free side of this is going to be the email and the social post. All right, because an email is free for you to send, and if you're utilizing the command email, which comes with the platform, it's free for you to send 5,000 emails a month. All right, or if you've synced up your MailChimp account, whether you're using, say if you're using the free MailChimp account, that's 10,000 emails a month you can send out. All right, and then for social posts, that means that you can actually post out over on your Facebook page or your Twitter account for free. All right, so in this case, you can actually start to post new listings, new open houses, events around the area, updates that you want to share. All right, whatever it might be that you want to get out to your friends, followers, fans, whoever it might be. Now, one thing to note is this is going to be for your Facebook page, so your business page, so not your actual profile. All right, so the business page is the one where people can like it, not the one where you'll add people as friends. All right, so I always like to point that out. But then outside of that, you also have the paid section of your campaigns, and that's going to be the search ad, social ad, and direct mail. So direct mail is obviously when you're going to make some type of print marketing item like a postcard to actually send out to everyone. All right, and then for social ad and search ad, these are digital ads that'll actually push you usually to the top of what people are searching for. All right, so in this case for the search ad, for instance, this is going to be on Google. So when you go to google.com and you search for whatever it is you're looking for, if you ever notice the top, 1 to 3 different items that are right in the search results, it'll say ad next to it, and those are actually ads from Google AdWords. All right, those people are actually posting their ad and paying to be up there. So in some cases, every time someone clicks on that ad, they're actually paying Google for that click over to their website or wherever they're trying to drive traffic to. All right, now you have the option of doing that on here too. All right, and then the biggest one that a lot of agents are utilizing is the social ad option. All right, in most cases, the biggest one on here is the Facebook social ad. So if you're on your Facebook profile and you're going over to your news feed and you're just, staying up to date with all your friends, all the pages that you follow, and then all of a sudden you see one that says sponsored, that's what this will actually be. All right, so you can actually sponsor your own ad to display on Facebook. All right, so at the end of the day, this will allow you to actually kind of show your ad to a broader audience of people that haven't liked your page yet, all right, that may be looking for a real estate agent to help them buy and sell. All right, you can actually target that too. All right, so this is all accessible just under the campaign section. And then of course, you're gonna have the reports option on here too. Now the reports section is gonna be mainly about the reports from your command platform. All right, so in this case, how healthy is your database? All right, how many opportunities do you currently have out there? And in this case, what's your GCI from that? All right, you can also see your goals that you've set up. So on here, you can see your dashboard option of what's actually accessible for your reports. You can view different reports on here, and there's even a drop-down option to view the 3 different report options that are accessible for you. But then more importantly, there's even a goal section. This is where you can put inside your goals that you want to reach for the year. So in this case for 2020, I've specified that my end goal for my profit on here is going to be 125,000. So that's the profit I want to reach. Well, in order to actually reach that, I'll need to actually have an additional 19,000 in cost of sales and 5,000 in operating expenses. So in order to reach that goal, I really need to hit 149,000. Now, based on what you put inside and based on the average price for the sale in your area, the average commission percentage, all right, it is then going to reverse engineer this entire goal section and say, all right, well, based on that, in order to reach 149,000, I need 4,193 different leads. I need 420 contacts. I need 252 appointments set, 151 appointments kept, so on and so forth, to actually reach my goal. All right, now in this case, that's obviously based on very low kind of percentages on there. So, in most cases, in order to get up to 149,000, you might not need 49 different closed units on the year. All right, so I just want to give you a heads up. You can tweak this at any time. This is all accessible for you. All right, and then of course, you do also happen to have the email option on here too. Now for the email, this is just going to show you your monthly usage on this. All right, so once we actually click on email, we can see, all right, well, here's all the different emails that we've sent out for that 5,000 limit per month. And if you need additional emails, there is an option to upgrade your email plan. All right, but then you can also see the analytics on this. Now, per each email that's sent out, you're not able to see, on that particular email, how many people clicked on it, how many people opened it. But in this case, you can get an overview of everything on here too. All right, so I just want to give you a heads up. This is all accessible for you to see, just kind of an overview of everything. So a question just came in. If you signed up for MailChimp, can you specify whether to send emails from MailChimp or eEdge? So in this case, it'll actually be from either MailChimp or from Command. So whenever you're actually setting up your campaign on here, you can. So once you create the new campaign and you specify to create an email on here, it'll actually ask you, do you want to do it through Command email or through MailChimp? So you can actually specify which one you want to utilize, so that way you can send that out immediately on there. Now, one thing to note, whenever you choose this though, all right, you are kind of stuck with that for that particular campaign that you're creating. There's not a way to switch it back if you say, oh, I actually meant to select Command email instead of MailChimp. All right, so just make sure you're clicking the proper one first, otherwise you might have to redo that piece. All right. Now below reports, then we're going to have our design section. Now this is one of my personal favorites on the Command platform, because this is where you can actually see all the different templates that are accessible for you to use. All right, you're going to have all the different template options up here too. So once you actually go through and start to save templates, or you start to edit them or view them, they'll automatically show on here for you. All right, so all the templates that are currently showing on the back end right now are templates that either I have clicked on to view or that I have gone through and I've saved. All right, so your page is going to look a lot different than mine, because this is for me personally. All right, but I can actually see all the different email templates. I can see the landing pages, social. I can see print pieces. I can see the agent site pages, videos on here too. All right, and at the bottom right, there's that little plus sign again. All right, and that allows us to actually go through. There we go. All right, and we can select what type of design we're trying to create. Now, the two big ones that a lot of people will typically utilize are going to be the social and print. That'll show all those different templates that KWRI has actually created for you guys that you can start to utilize immediately. All right, the editor is going to be very similar to Canva, if you've ever used that before, where you can pretty much just drag and drop everything on there too. All right, but at the end of the day, that's where all the main templates are going to be displayed in the back end if you want to utilize them even further, whether it's for just sold, just listed, open house, there's email signatures, event type items. There's a bunch of different templates available for you. You can even make your own little email template that you can actually send out on here. All right, so very similar to what Joel was asking about. You can actually create your own email template on here too if you want to send it out on Command email or through MailChimp. Right, and then there's even a section to make a video on here. Now the video is going to be about your neighborhood market update. All right, so you're just going to put inside the analytics that you want to display, and then it'll automatically put that in the pre-done video for you. All right, so this isn't kind of, uploading your own videos and then putting them together or anything like that. All right, this is going to be an already completed template, and you're just going to put inside the information. All right, so if I want to put inside information around the neighborhood of Coytown over here in Orlando, then I could see all the information that'll come through next door. All right, so here's how many homes are currently for sale. Here's the average price per square foot, all right, whatever it might be. And then I also have the ability to go through and tweak that. So if some of the information might not be 100% accurate, I can change that at any time too. All right, or if you want to, you can also upload your own PDF and reverse engineer it. So the cool part about this is whenever you actually upload a PDF on here, it's going to give you the option to go through and it's going to say, all right, here's the PDF that you put in here. We're going to now make everything editable for you. All right, so if there's an image on it, it's going to make it a clickable image that you can then replace if you want to. If there's text, it's going to turn it into a text box. All right, so this way, if you happen to have a prior PDF, flyer that you really like that you were using from another system, you can upload it on here and continue to use it. All right, so all these are accessible for you. All right, then of course, below the designs, you're gonna have the listing section. This is the KWLS 2.0. All right, so this is the new KWLS. All right, so outside of seeing your own listings on here, then you can also search for listings pretty much anywhere that's accessible. And the good part about this is, much like Zillow, much like Trulia, Realtor.com, where it has a feed of all the different listings that are coming over to their platform, this is going to be very similar on here. All right, because at the end of the day, not only can you search within your MLS, but I can actually start to search for listings all around the country. All right, so on here, not only am I seeing properties that are currently accessible around here by the neighborhood, but I can turn off this map search and I can start to search for anywhere I want to. So as you can see, I can see West Palm Beach on here, Santa Rosa, California, Austin, Texas, all right, so on and so forth. So as long as that listing is active on the MLS that feeds to the KWLS 2.0, then you'll have access to it. And not only is that accessible on here, but it's accessible on your KW Command IDX site and on your app to utilize too. All right, so long gone are the days where you would tell people like, hey, you can come over to my website and you'll be able to search for properties around the area. Well, not only can they search for properties around the area, they can really search around the entire country. All right, so in this case, let's say, for instance, that they're over here in Orlando where I am, but they're actually looking to move over to Washington. All right, so they're doing a cross-country trip basically for a new job, whatever it might be. All right, they can still use your site to search for properties that are available. All right, so that's the best part about everything. All right, now below that, you also happen to have your insights. I'm not 100% sure what might be going on with the insights, so I'm just going to skip over that for the time being on here. But these are basically just local insights around the area, all right, that you can actually add to. All right, but more importantly, you're going to have this section down here. It said landing pages when I clicked on it. It should say consumer instead. All right, this is where you can actually view your landing pages, right? Your one-off type of squeeze page that you created. You can actually view your agent site pages. You can view the guide builder for the different guides that are going to display on your app. All right, or you can actually view what your app URL is. All right, so this is all the different consumer applications that you may want to utilize. Now on here, not only can you make just one-off landing pages, whether you want to highlight a new listing, a new open house, maybe you want to make a landing page for an event coming up to have your own little contact form on there. All right, the best part is not only does it make a one-page landing page for you, but if you have the contact or lead capture form on it, all those leads are going to come right back over to your contact section to keep everything in one location. All right, you can also go through and set up new site pages on your website. All right, so after you've gotten the basics set up, you can now go through and tweak it even further. So if you want to make a download my app page, if you want to make a mortgage calculator page, a what's my home worth page, all right, if you want to add inside the great schools widget, if you want to highlight some of your videos that you've created for your listings or around the area, all right, all that is doable on here. All right, then of course you can also see what your site URL is, and this URL is customizable. All right, so you can change anything before that .kdb.com as long as no one else already has it. All right, and then of course you even have your guide builder on here to help to update your buying and selling guides to really kind of show, hey, is your new client looking to purchase a home? Great, here are the steps that you should take in order to make this a seamless process. All right, and then the same thing over on the selling side. Are you looking to list your home? Fantastic. Here's what you might want to do in order to make sure that it lists properly, it sells quickly, you're getting the most money for everything. All right, so this is all accessible for you. Now you can click on create a new site at the top right up here. You aren't actually going to create a new site. All right, what it'll allow you to do is either create a page on your current agent site or create a landing page. All right, so you'll have those two options on here. You're only allowed one site though. All right, so I always like to point that out. You're only allowed one site. So even though it says create a new site, you're only creating like a new landing page site or a new page on your site. All right, but not a brand new command site instead. All right. And then of course down here, once I clicked on the site and app settings section, this will show you the back end of all your consumer applications, whether you want to just update some of the information on the homepage of your command site, if you want to actually view that URL that I was talking about, if you want to tweak it. And this will also show your app information on here too. All right, it's not showing on mine because you have to be listed as an agent for it to pop up, but this is where it'll show for you as well. All right, or where you can feature your listings, up to 12 different listings that you can feature on the homepage. You can choose between the red or the dark theme on your website, or organize how your site pages are set up too. All right, so that way you can kind of organize your menu. All right, so that's a very brief overview of the command platform and what's kind of accessible through these applications over here on the left-hand side. All right, so a question just came in, is there a home valuation widget that will send automatic, I can imagine the AVM is for that, for it to automatically send out. There is not quite yet. Hopefully there will be very soon, because there's actually an option down here that's been here since the beginning of command launching for the listing consult. So hopefully that'll be popping up soon. But right now, you can add inside your own page if you want to. I know some agents that have Cloud CMA, they'll add that in instead. Some will actually utilize the lead capture form and add this in, or create one through a different form platform like Google Forms and link that instead. All right, so that's all accessible on here though. All right, and then another question, does Command allow your business website, not KW, to attach to your KW Command website? So it does not at this time, but as a workaround, if you're utilizing another site, and that's a great question. So say for instance, like I'm using the scottleroymarketing.com site on here. So the question in this case is, if you're utilizing a custom website, can you link that to Command? So although there is not an option on it, what some agents will do instead, and this is what I usually suggest to kind of save a little bit of money as well too, is use your command site for the searching purpose on here. Oh, looks like I put inside that V when I tried to paste that in. All right, so once you pull up your command website on the back end, obviously, then if you want to go over to your web designer, if you're actually hosting the site, what you could do is you could actually go through and utilize the search page. So it'll be whatever your command URL is, the command IDX site URL on here, /search. And then you could actually copy that and add that over to your site, whether you want to iframe it, whether you want to just add inside a link that people can click on, and that way it'll kind of connect everything. That's what I usually suggest, so that way on your custom site, you're not having to purchase an IDX feed as well, and you're able to utilize the KWLS 2.0 option on here too. All right. So that's all accessible on here. So one thing I do want to point out though in this class is obviously if you're making that transition from your current CRM over to Command, or you're thinking about making that transition, or maybe you're just going to move over a couple items, first thing first is to show you, where is everything located and what exactly does it do? Because at the end of the day, if you're using another platform, like eEdge, like Joel was talking about, if you're utilizing eEdge or anything, well, then you might want to say, all right, well, what exactly is the comparable component over inside Command to what I have accessible inside eEdge right now, if there's something that I really enjoy utilizing on there, all right? And how can I actually start to make that transition? All right, now if you are looking to make that transition to Command though, outside of just kind of showing you where everything's located and helping to train you on that, there are a bunch of items that we can actually do for you. So one of the biggest things that I always suggest is whenever you come onto our site, obviously log in first. All right, and the login on here is going to be your market center number. So whatever your market center number is, just go ahead and type that in. All right, that market center number is found at the top right of your MyKW platform whenever you sign in. All right, and if this weird thing comes up, just click OK, you're fine. All right, but once you actually sign in, then all of our KW resources will display on here. And the biggest one I always like to focus on, especially for transitioning to Command, is the support section. Now, one thing to note, there is obviously all of our recorded training classes on here. So very similar to this class I'm doing right now, it'll be available on here later on too. All right, but the biggest thing I always like to point out is there's a bunch of options that are accessible. Let me zoom out real quick so we can make sure we see all of it. There are a bunch of items that are accessible, including KW Command options on here, that you can actually find all the courses you're looking for. Those are all chronologically organized on here too, just to make everything a little bit simpler for you to utilize. All right, so that way you can see our most recent class right away. Now, under the support section on here, though, this is where we can find all of our free support that we provide for you guys. It's all completely complimentary, right, because your office has a subscription with us, all right? So in this case, you're able to utilize any of this stuff at any time. We're here to help out. All right, so we do have this segmented out based on what you might be looking for, and there's a couple things I want to point out that may help you out as you're making your transition to Command. So number one, if you don't have your Command platform set up quite yet, we actually have the option to do that for you. All right, so we can go through and make sure your marketing profile is set up. We can make sure your site is activated. We can get you your app URL on there too. All right, if you need help setting up DocuSign and you're starting to utilize that as the new transaction platform, we can do that for you too. All right, if you need to import your database from your current CRM over to Command, so that way you can start to utilize all these cool tools, that's available as well. All right, so we have a bunch of different items that are accessible on here, and all of these are clickable links that'll take you to a page on our site that'll allow us to go through and really, see exactly what it is you might be looking for so we can help out immediately. All right, so at the end of the day, all these buttons are clickable links to help out even further. Now, with that being said, outside of the other items on here, like the miscellaneous services and whatnot, all right, scrolling down even further, we do have website services too. So outside of just making that transition to command, what we can also do is help to spruce up that site a little bit further for you. All right, so if you're moving over to command and then all of a sudden you're saying, hey, I also want to move my website because I'm on my current CRM, the website is included, but I'm going to cancel that subscription. I'm going to utilize all the different KW tools. All right, well, there might be some items on that site that you really like that you want to kind of mimic on here. All right, so in this case, we can actually go through and help to update these different items too. So if you want to add inside testimonials, if you want to add inside a page purely to download your app, if you have a custom domain that you want to link over to your site, or if you want to feature your listings on here, if you want to add inside Google Analytics so you can track your site even further, all right, we can do all these items for you. And once again, all these buttons are just clickable buttons that allow us to edit this even further for you. All right, and a question came in. So what is PiSync and do you recommend using it? Great question. So PiSync on here is actually a way to sync your CRM to the command platform. So if you're utilizing, say for instance, let's say you're using Gmail for your contacts. All right, with PiSync, you're allowed to have unlimited real estate syncs. So if you're utilizing another CRM that's available through PiSync, then you can actually set that up and it won't count against you, won't count towards your actual sync. You're good to go, and it'll automatically move those contacts from your current CRM, all right, say for instance you're utilizing Brivity or anything, over to command and vice versa. So that way it'll create a two-way sync, or you can create a one-way one. All right, but it'll create a two-way sync where that way anytime you update something inside command, it updates in Brivity, or updates in Brivity, updates over in command, so on and so forth. All right, now as a KW agent, you also receive one sync for free that's a non-real estate sync. So you can have as many CRMs that are real estate related for free, but if you happen to have a Gmail account, if you have an iPhone, for instance, all right, whatever it might be, then you can actually sync those over as well too. All right, and it is free for one sync. So if you want to sync your iCloud contacts, that would be your one free sync. And then if you decide that you want to sync your Gmail account too, well, then any contacts that are synced from there would be a 50% discount. And the cool part is PiSync will actually say, all right, which one has the lesser amount of contacts? And that's the one we're going to charge you for. All right, because if you've ever seen any type of buy one, get one 50% off type thing, or buy one, get one free, I'm sure you guys obviously know, whenever it's a buy one, get one free, it's the lesser valued one that's going to be free. All right, well, not in this case. It's actually going to be the higher valued one that'll be free for you. All right, so all these items are completely available for you guys to utilize at the end of the day, and they're all accessible under our KW resources section under support. All right, so I always like to point this out because these are free items that we can actually help out immediately on here. All right. Oh, did not mean to click on that. Let's go back. All right. So these are all accessible to help you guys out even further. And then, of course, at the end of the day, if you have any questions, if you need help with command, at the bottom of every page will be our contact info. So please feel free to reach out to us. We are here to help out with all issues, questions, concerns you may have about the command platform. All right, but that is going to do it for our overview pivot class to command for August 10th. All right, so this class is really meant to help you get an idea as to where is everything located? What exactly does it do? How is it comparable to my current CRM, my current platform that I'm utilizing? And more importantly, what are some of the main items that we can actually help you out with, like setting up your command platform, moving your database over, tweaking your site even further, helping to get those contacts linked with PiSync. All right, so we have a bunch of different items that'll help to make your transition to command that much simpler. All right, so there you go. So that is going to be it for our KW Command overview class for 810.